Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero, and I know it's always hilarious watching these CG sycophants, these CG absolute cucks, just constantly lick the boot of EVS on a consistent basis, considering that they have no books to talk about. They rather talk about people's personal lives and what type of money they make rather than actual comics. And it's hilarious exposing these clowns, and I love doing it every single time. So we're gonna expose, of course, a couple of clowns who want to sit here and be your typical EVS bootlickers. We got even a new one today, by the name of Red Ruin, who goes on to say, additionally, I'd rather see a badly drawn book by someone that is passionate about comics than a professional looking quote unquote product from someone who's just passing through grifting. You know, like Surgis. Yeah, I'm definitely grifting, even though I've probably spent more money than any of you clowns in the comic space, whether it be CG or anyone else, or even anyone from like Image. But I go on to say, sure, bud, the only person I've seen actually grifting is EVS. The furry bundle of sticks, by the way, is a dumbass who truly doesn't understand that art is subjective. It always has been, and it always will be. Continue coping and seething. Now, this is a basic fact that these clowns still fail to realize is an actual fact. They actually hate that you tell them that art is subjective because they think art is actually objective, which in all the history of art, it's never been objective. It's been subjective. Your post, or every post, exposes you. It's not proof of being exposed. As usual, CG clown bot accounts have no proof of anything. Saying art is subjective is a pretty well-known thing. EVS is trash by comparison to Todd McFarlane, Alex Ross, or even Kentaro Mora. Those are the artists who are leagues better. Now, I'm not saying that EVS can't draw. I'm not saying that EVS's stuff doesn't look good. But compared to Todd McFarlane, Alex Ross, or even Kentaro Mora, or even someone like Joe Ball, or even someone like Kane White, his art's not great. It's hilarious how these guys simply hover over EVS's artwork and think it's like the art of the gods for some reason, when there are people that are far superior to him in every single way when it comes to art. Hell, even at this point, I would say Renzo Rodriguez has better art than EVS. I already answered about the subjective thing. As an artist, trust me, I know a lot more about the history of art of comics than you do. Well, if you know the history of art, you would know that art is subjective, and it always has been. There's no other way around it. Bot account could say the same thing about you. Yeah, the guy that has made an account, 7 months ago? You made an account this year in March of 2025. I've had my account longer than 7 months. Art has always been and always will be subjective. If you knew anything about the history of art or comics, you would understand this simple truth. The love of the pieces is subjective, but there are objective indicators. In the comic book industry, one of the greatest indicators is a fall off in pre-order numbers, which we've seen with Eric's properties, his quote-unquote products. Yes, comics are a product. You go into a store and you buy it. It is a good in a capitalist society. You see, that's the problem. Eric doesn't view it as anything but product, even though he constantly talks about his universes all the time. Literally has videos on his channel talking about the characters and the universe that he's created. But go on. You see, that's the problem. Oh, I already read that. Those who create them view it as more, but he's got this tourist/corporate mindset that he's not creating anything lasting. He's creating the product of the day. Yeah, it definitely hasn't lasted, even though the Rippaverse has been around for 3 years, but it definitely isn't lasting. By the way, for someone that's creating a startup comic book company, he welcomes every single type of person, whether they're new to comics or whether they're a veteran of comics. And he seems to have customers from both sides of that spectrum in the comic book world. Pre-order numbers aren't the full picture of success or the number of customers/sales the company is making, as in Eric has a back end and constantly sells books on a daily basis. You're literally making assumptions based on what you can see. The man has sold 100,000 plus books and made more revenue this year over last year. Sit down and shut the fuck up. Because this is the same clown who thinks he's going to sit there and pocket watch my YouTube channel and claim that I only make $50 a month, even though that's the farthest thing from the truth. Claims it's all deflection. When I'm like, there isn't exposing myself here. There's no exposing myself here. Actual facts of what exactly? Because, of course, he's talking about projection and whatnot. You see, you keep changing subjects in your posts, moving goalposts, every logical fallacy in the book because you can't argue against actual facts. I mean, you're not presenting any actual facts at all. You're claiming that there's this downward trend of people not buying books based on pre-order numbers, which is false. Actual facts of what exactly? The fact that you act like an angry ex-girlfriend type because you truly believe the lie that pre-order numbers are the only people buying books because that's what you're told to believe. Man, if pre-orders for a video game told the whole story, you would look like a bigger dumbass. I guess. And then you have clowns like SJW win over here. If you cared about Ripperverse so much, you would stop calling his comics product. His comics are product. Comics are an art form. Clearly, it's beyond your level of comprehension that comics are an art form. I guess your comprehension of what comic books actually are is hilarious to watch. Comics are a product whether you like it or not. You clearly don't know anything about business acumen. Comic artists and writers are in the business of selling what now? A book made of paper and staples that contain pretty pictures and dialogue. That's literally what they're selling to you. If it's anything more than that, you're too far gone on this. Sturgis literally has a script and he sticks to it. Issue is his script is particularly bad, repeating the same insults again and again and again. Sturgis, that's literally a script. Regurgitating a made-up name. It's the same insults because you guys continue to act like NPCs, brainless bootlickers, and closeted homosexuals. Maybe stop being NPCs, brainless bootlickers, and projecting your closeted homosexuality onto me and actually read a comic book. Because this guy, literally going through his Twitter timeline, he doesn't talk about any comic books whatsoever. Just recently, he's been retweeting nice stuff about Charlie Kirk, trying to cover up all the nonsense he's been saying about me on a daily basis because he's an obsessed weirdo, just like every other obsessed weirdo that's talking about me every day. Why does he keep calling everyone closeted homosexuals? Because you guys say gay shit. You're constantly talking about another man's genitalia. You're clearly bundle of sticks still in the closet in 2025. You spend all your days on Twitter getting no pussy and being mad at myself and Eric July for being successful in life. The lesson here is don't get into a codependent relationship with a comic book company or creator. I'm not in a codependent relationship with anybody because you clearly have an extremely unhealthy fixation on Eric July and Ripperverse. What fixation? Oh my god, I like a product being sold to me. You sound like your mother dropped you on your head one too many times. It's called being a fan of something. I'm also a fan of many other creators in the indie space and I actually have conversations with them. You should try it sometime. Because again, these are the same fucking retards that think the only comics I buy, even though I have a literal pinned post of multiple comics that I bought from indie creators. This isn't ISOM. This isn't ISOM. These are not ISOM. I don't see ISOM up here. I see ISOM down here, sure. I see Reign of Ages. I also see She, which is a Billy Tucci book. I see Hardly Heroes. I see Alien Alamo. Although that's a Graham Nolan book. Oh, do you see Common America and Black Hops and Soul Finder and Infinitales and Acromatic Chronicles Blue? I thought these are all ISOM books. I never knew that those are ISOM books. I never knew those were Ripperverse books. Wow. It's the same fucking retarded argument these guys make all the time while not talking about comics. They spend more time trying to go for personal attacks and try to claim that people are obsessed weirdos like they are because they have no actual arguments against anything I ever say. And they don't talk about comic books. They just go for personal attacks because they have no arguments and everything they say is absolute drivel. I've spent close to 30 years of digital marketing from the very start of the internet boom till today. Congratulations, no one gives a fuck. We're talking about comic books. We're not talking about how fucking uneducated you are. Nobody cares, bro. Or as educated you think, how educated you think you are. From banner exchange is what we have now. So compared to him and most people, I'm an expert. You're an expert. Laugh my ass off. Sure, bro. You're again listening to an individual who has no business talking about revenue, comics, or anything of the sort. His furry art is absolute dog shit, and subs truly mean nothing when you have no one willing to watch your actual content or support you financially. I appreciate the support from my community every single day, and I always will, because they don't have to go above and beyond like they do, but they do. Also, YouTube isn't my full-time gig. It's a hobby, and I've earned more from it than the furry clown ever has drawing his trash furry art that clearly no one wants. he gets his most traction talking about me because I'm more relevant than he'll ever be. Because that's how most of these clowns get traction. They either talk about me or they'll talk about Eric July and fixate on the fact that I like a comic book universe that they don't. Oh, you like Ripperverse? Your opinion invalid. Okay? You like a comic from a person who never finishes his stuff, who's 5 years late on Rainbow the Fruit. Congratulations. Then you have this ugly clown looking motherfucker talking about whatever. Jizz on his chin, I guess, because for some reason he likes talking about jizz. Fucking weirdo. You're superior to no one. This is you, you ugly ass bitch. Never talk about looks again. You're a miserable loser. I'm far, far superior. Do you even own a mirror? If I woke up in your body one day, again, what does this have to do with comic books, bro? I'm still trying to figure out the missing link between what this has to do with comic books. You're an ugly-ass clown who hides his face because you know you're an ugly motherfucker that your mother should have swallowed. You sure love talking about jizz. You really are a closeted homosexual. You get no pussy, you have no friends, you have no social life. You pocket watch other men who are successful like an ex-girlfriend type. Because he's literally sitting there watching Gary from Neurotic while he's out at SpaceCon, by the way. And he's watching the campaign numbers of Eric July on a consistent basis. And doesn't understand the irony of looking like an absolute bitch while claiming to be a USMC veteran. There's nothing superior about you. You'll never be better looking than me or more successful in this life or the next. Intelligent. You can't even rub more than 2 brain cells together to stop licking your throat go frog daddy's boot. Calling me a Neanderthal means I fuck loads of women, you low IQ brainlet. You wouldn't exist without them. And of course you can't read all that because you're too fucking stupid and low intelligence to even read it. I'm sorry you're not intelligent enough to read how pathetic your life is crying about other men's pockets. You're an ugly clown looking ass bitch made individual and that's why you hide your face behind a mask. Keep licking that EBS boot. Projection at its finest. I think Sturgis misses me roasting him. You've never roasted me. You've never ratioed me. And quote tweeting and getting more likes is not ratioing anybody. Ratioing is you commenting on a post down here and getting more likes. That's what a ratio is on Twitter. You've never roasted me nor ratioed me. When you have to claim you roasted someone with 0 likes or attention, this is called a self-own. You're boring, my guy. You watch other men's pockets all the time like a woman. I see it on my timeline. Now, there are many times where his posts appear on my timeline and I simply ignore it because it's literally just him trying to count campaign numbers as if he's ever going to see any of that money flow into his pocket at all. This is what we call an ex-girlfriend type who likes to sit there and cry about how someone else is more successful that doesn't give a shit about him. I left you alone because you're effing boring. No, you left me alone because you got tired of being BTFOed. That's the problem. You got tired of being BTFOed. And you act like a fucking woman all the time. I wake up every day knowing I have a great life. Watching you losers cry and hate on my success every day while I actually live my life comfortably and exceptionally is a great way to live. Making money off of butthurt bitches like yourself is hilarious to me. Man, you make like $25 to $50 a month on YouTube. You wake up every day bitter that you wake up in a fucking loser's body. I know I would if I were you. Again, what does this have to do with comics, though? I'm still not seeing the talk about comics. Even again, on your own timeline, you're not really talking about comics. You're just talking about how men's appearance. Sure, bud, you're retarded if you think that's all I make on YouTube every month, as I get payout emails every month. Continue being a low IQ brainlet who listens to other low IQ brainlets on the internet. Even if it's $1,000, well, I'm sure it's not. That's an effing drop in the bucket. This is called a goalpost shift. This is what happens when you, I don't know, you say one thing and then you shift the goalpost when you're proven wrong. The same handful of people watch and comment on your streams every time. I've seen your streams and it's all the same people in your chat that fluff you like Master Hobo. Because that's what he actually says. Like hobo. Man, imagine having an audience that's loyal to you that likes to watch your videos and live streams every day. That must be a terrible way to be a YouTuber. Holy shit. This is the classic shifting the goalpost move. You're not sure of anything because you don't know jack shit. YouTube isn't my full-time gig, dummy. Imagine having an audience that consistently watches you and acting like that's a negative thing. This is why retards like this should never speak on how to run a business. Wow. Imagine having a dedicated audience, or imagine running a retail store and having repeat customers, which is the whole point of running a business. You're supposed to have repeat customers. I mean, EVS, for fuck's sake, has repeat backers who back the same projects over and over again just to boost a fucking campaign. Didn't say it was your only kid, you rip retarded son bitch. You're the one that mentioned YouTube. I know you have a real job. Do you have an audience of 20 if in your chat, if that? It's not like you're setting the world on fire with your videos. Okay. And I still make more money than $50 a month. And yet I still have people that donate loads of gifted memberships. What's your point? I could have 20 people in chat, but if I have one person consistently donating memberships, then what the fuck does it matter? Building your audience slowly and actually building a loyal, dedicated fan base that wants to watch your videos and live streams is better than having people who are just there for one thing and one thing only, not really there for the creator. They're just for certain types of content, not all of your content. It's a lesson I've learned really early on in my streaming journey. Congrats, you still move the goalposts as all haters do. You're a baby bag bitch keyboard warrior. That's all you'll ever be. I'm a literal warrior. I've literally been to war. I survived Fallujah, the absolute worst part of the Iraq war. Do you think you're a warrior fighting online patterns in the culture war? What the fuck is EVS doing then? Please let me know. For as much boot as you lick, let me know, what is EVS doing? The exact same thing. EVS is literally fighting a culture war, which is why he joined a comic book movement called Comics Gate. Literally him claiming to be fighting against the SJWs and in the comic book space. What the fuck is he doing what is he doing? Sitting on his fat ass, gaining weight every fucking day, being like 1,000 pounds, wearing 6XL shirts most likely. The fuck? You got Master Hobo. He sure whines a lot like a bitch for a so-called literal warrior. Exactly my point. I'm a warrior. The warrior in question. Fuck, bro. Oh, that's good. That's really good. You're not a warrior. If you were, you wouldn't be acting like an absolute total bitch on the internet, worrying about another grown man's money like you do. People who actually have money don't have to brag about it. Never once have I bragged about money I make, and yet y'all get butthurt over it. Because me simply saying, I make money on YouTube, or I make money making fun of retards like you, is such a brag for them that they think it's actually bragging. Can you not fucking see that all you do... I give what? I'm giving 100 times over. No, you don't. You're not doing anything. You're not doing anything to me. All you're doing is feeding me content, as you fucking retards always do. You talk pure crap to anyone that even slightly disagrees with you. That's why you were recently destroyed by console bros. No, not really. Never got ratioed nor destroyed by console bros, you loser. I was correct in every aspect of what I said because I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about. PlayStation fanboys don't know shit about anything YouTube related or the gaming industry. They don't understand that budgets exist and marketing costs exist in the gaming industry. They don't understand that bigger audiences can overshadow other audiences. Oh, yeah, we're talking about the Smash JT and Colin debate. Yeah. Colin having a bigger audience to Smash JT. It's very easy to skew a poll, similar to how you fucking clowns went over to Vanessa Danger's channel when she was active, when she was talking about comics, and then she had a poll and you guys flooded it and skewed the vote in EVS's favor because he's too much of a bitch to make anything good for him to legitimately get positive votes. You don't know shit about anything. Everything you say is just crap you've heard elsewhere. You have no original thoughts. Everything I post is my own original thought. I'm sorry that you're too NPC brained from all the boot you lick from EVS. Okay. I do actual research, bro. The fact that this clown is who you're quote tweeting is hilarious, because this guy gets shitted on constantly. So you are literally sitting here talking about how you're a literal warrior, yet you're more than welcome and more, you're more welcoming to agree with an actual terrorist. This guy claims to be Antifa. He has multiple bot accounts. This guy has probably made like over 20 different accounts. and has other people that make a shit ton of bot accounts to like his posts. This is the same guy who tried to come at me with, oh, Expedition 33 is a flop because he was too much of a butthurt bitch to understand how I felt that Silent Hill 2 Remake was a flop because there's 80 million consoles of PS5s and there's 41 million active users on Steam and all they made was 2.5 million in sales after a year. To me, that's a flop. But because Monster Hunter Wilds has a bigger budget than Expedition 33, Expedition 33 doesn't have a huge budget, so it wouldn't be considered a flop because it didn't have a huge budget. It only had 33 people working on it, and it sold 5 million copies in half a year. Faster than Silent Hill 2, a well-known IP, by the way, reminds you of that. Congrats. You know what this looks like to me? Something I don't really care about. I talk about how these guys get ratioed because they get butthurt over being ratioed. And all it is a fucking loser that sits there and says, oh, these people said this game would be a flop. Meanwhile, none of these thumbnails say the word flop. Not a single one of these fucking thumbnails talk about shit being a flop. You know how far back someone had to go to even grab thumbnails from Hypnotic? These thumbnails are old as shit. This man had to go like months back to find these thumbnails. And I guarantee you this dude didn't watch any of these. He just sees a bunch of thumbnails because people are thumbnail reactors on Twitter nowadays. And what do I see as well? 48,000 views. Like, I'm worried about that. I don't really care. Getting 800 on a quote tweet isn't getting ratioed. Plus, Airbagged isn't a console bro. Getting ratios when comments flood when you comment on a post or when you don't have bot accounts flooding your comment section. Read a book and learn something. They were ratioing you in the comments. You were getting roasted up, down, left, and right. How about you read a book that's not from the Rippaverse? You might learn a thing or two. Yeah, because I totally didn't read Starlight Cats and there totally isn't a review on my channel. And there totally is a review of Bullet Assassin Living in a Fantasy World #1 on my channel. But go on, bro. You don't read comic books at all, so really talking about how anybody should be reading other things in the Rippaverse, you really shouldn't be talking when you don't read comics at all. I don't care, though. It doesn't affect me negatively. Console fanboys don't play video games. They play Twitter and console sales, just like you. All you play with is EVS's jizz on your chin and Twitter. You're just as retarded as PlayStation fanboys. CG cucks are the PlayStation fanboys of the indie scene. You've got EVS derangement syndrome. EVS isn't a grifter. He's a YouTuber and a comic artist. No, he's just a YouTuber at this point. He's just a drama tuber at this point. He's not making fucking comics. He's pretending to make comics to make himself seem relevant, but he spends more time talking about Eric July than actually making comics. Because if he actually spent more time making comics, he would be done with Rainbow the Fruit and Cybercut 3. He's a grifter. He swindles people out of money while not delivering a product. EVS derangement syndrome? No. Calling out EVS on his BS isn't derangement syndrome, you clown. EVS obsessing over me and Eric July daily is derangement syndrome. Bruh. I think I've made, in the last 3 weeks, I think I've made 3 videos on EVS. In the last 3 weeks. But remember, I'm the one with derangement syndrome. I've made 3 videos in 3 weeks. Hell, I'll even show the proof. You can go right over to my channel right now. Let's see. This is a video on EVS. That was from 10 days ago. This is a video on Dan Lawless, by the way. 3 weeks ago, that was the last time before that I made a video on EVS. And then before that, it was a week before that I made another video. Oh, this is actually not even on EVS. This is a video a month ago. So, 1, 2, 3 videos on EVS. This is on Dan Lawless. And this is on clowns like the guys I'm talking about right now. The same clowns I'm talking about. So, yeah. Who's really obsessed? The guy that makes 4 to 5, 6, 7 hour live streams or a guy who makes 10-minute videos? 20-minute videos. Sorry, 10-minute videos. Sure, bro. A video on Charlie Kirk got more views than a video talking about fucking EVS, bro. It's worth my time more to talk about, it seems, about Charlie Kirk than it is about fucking CG clowns. Like, what are we doing, bro? And then, of course, the SJW went and blocked me because he kept getting fucking wrecked all night, including his mom's pussy. So, it's hilarious, and it's always gonna be hilarious watching these fucking clowns try to come at me on a consistent basis and then end up blocking me. Because that's all you can do, is block me. Because you can't face the truth that EVS is a grifter. EVS is a person who swindles people out of their hard-earned money and continues to deliver no fucking product. Where's that Fearsome book? Where's that Hierophant book? Where's that Cybercuck 3? Where's that Rainbow the Fruit that's been late for 5 years? Nowhere to be found. You know where my Rippaverse books are? In my short box. Because I actually receive product when I buy stuff from the Rippaverse. Where's my Tyler Carpenter comics? Oh, in my short box, because I actually receive product. I've gotten more comics from Tyler Carpenter and Iconic Comics than I've ever gotten from Eat the Man Sciver. So please miss me with that bullshit. Thank you all for checking out this video. Really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, smash the like button. Comment below how you feel about this. Subscribe for more content. And look forward to more unboxing videos and comic book reviews. And soon, I'm hoping, gaming reviews, either on this channel or on a brand new channel. I'll let you guys know. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a video or go live. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.